Welcome back to Ghoster Coasters, everybody, and today we're going to have a little fun and discuss some of the potential outcomes for Magnum XL-200 over the years, and with Loch Ness Monster being retracted BGW, that may mean some of the old Aero roller coasters too. But if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button and join the spooky community today. You won't want to miss out on the rest of summer and everything amusement parks from here on out. A huge shout out goes out to all of our Coaster Ghosted members and producers of the channel. You guys are the best Ghoster Coaster community out there, and we couldn't thank you enough for all of the support. Now, on to some Magnum XL-200 potential retracks and if we think that happens or not. With the park leaning into nods to history, Aero crafting a legacy of its own, and having 5 built at Cedar Point alone,
and of course, Aero no longer being in business, how do we see Magnum fitting into all of this? Fans of Busch Gardens Williamsburg have loved the launch of Loch Ness, and that had us thinking. With the lines at Magnum being manageable most of the time and being a reliable ride to get onto during the busy days, could the park be looking to revamp the ride in the future and bring it fully back to life? And for a better, smoother version, maybe than it's ever been. Watching El Toro Ryan's Problematic Coasters videos and seeing that Magnum was reprofiled many times over the years, heading into the turnaround, adding upstop wheels instead of pads, adding bracing cross ties closer together in the turnaround, Magnum has gone through its fair share of renovations even early on.
the one common complaint amongst many guests and enthusiasts alike who do not like Magnum is the roughness. It's not as smooth as this ride, or it feels like it's this age, or I can't ride it because it hurts my thighs. While we at Ghoster Coasters wholeheartedly disagree with that statement, we understand that the rides aren't for everybody and sometimes things are uncomfortable to others even when they aren't to us. And hey, we have had some rough rides, believe us. Just more often than not, the ride is super fun and enjoyable for everyone. We even had a moonrise off the beach back-to-back ride last Halloween weekends as nobody was in the station and they allowed us to go a few times in a row during a small downpour. Till this day, it's one of the best moments in amusement parks for us to remember. But would Cedar Point ever consider retracking this ride, or maybe even worse, reprofiling some of the return hills?
We could see Cedar Point working with Premier to retrack Magnum. Okay, loaded question here with lots of other questions. Why not S&S, who owns the Aero assets? But with recent rumors, Canada's Wonderland may indeed be getting a Premier coaster for its newest edition. It seems the old Cedar Fair, now Six Flags company, may indeed be willing to work with Premier to do just that. But when it comes to Magnum, we have to wonder if they'd really do it. And we can see reasons for both yes and no. But for those who clamor for a B&M hyper coaster, just realize Magnum is also a people eater and in its own right holds tons of capacity, so if it was smoothened out a bit, would you still like a B&M or the old school Aero janky airtime hills? I mean, come on. For every 3 return hills, that would be 1 drawn out floater on a B&M. No hate, but we believe Magnum Retract would offer a crazy experience, modern technology with old school dimensions.
And let's not overlook the fact the turnaround has been reworked a few times and could really use a whole new reprofiling. That's about the only area we're down for reprofiling completely. We're not for reprofiling the entire ride, but that turnaround definitely needs a whole entire overhaul, top to bottom. As you watch the train go through it, you can kind of see, well, all the imperfections, and yes, we love those here at Ghoster Coasters, but to the general public, Magnum may have become a bumpy ride over the years, especially when you consider Valraven and Steel Vengeance editions since 2016, adding to the smoother overall lineup, and then you have Gatekeeper in 2012, Maverick in 2007. You guys kind of get the point. Coasters have gotten smoother and the park has added enough to make a difference over the years, and the wear and tear to Magnum that make people go, that ride just isn't smooth enough anymore.
Now, Cedar Point could opt to leave it be, but we'd love to see some Loch Ness Monster treatment. Just do not touch those return hills. Leave them triangle, please. We cannot sacrifice that airtime for a smooth ride. It has to be both smooth with that airtime. Okay, being a little greedy here, but we do think Cedar Point would have a hit on their hands with a Retrack Magnum XL-200, helping spreading the lines throughout the park and bringing a revamped hyper with old school dimensions back into the modern day era. Hard to beat that if you ask us.
And to those wondering about the Premier and S&S thing, we heard through the grapevine that the fabricator of the old Aero track for Premier is Intermountain Lift. They fabricated track for Icebreaker, and the interesting part about that is S&S uses them for fabrication on roller coasters as well. So all in all, if Premier gets the bid or S&S got the bid, it seems like the track would be coming from the same fabricator nonetheless, and one company would just be in control of the project. That seems like a win for us if the park decided to retrack the ride or, go with either or. Though we understand Premier trains are not wanted on Magnum at all, so there's that grain of salt to think about there.
What do you guys think? Will Magnum ever see the retracking project come to life? Or will Cedar Point opt to maintain it until the end of its service life and maybe even replace it with something else? Sound off in the comments. We'd love to hear what everyone thinks about Magnum's future. If they'd want to see it retracked, reprofiled, or just completely take the ride out and build something new there. If you want this, you are against us though. Just saying, we love Magnum. Best ride in the park.
Yep.
Let us know down below.
If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and join the spooky community. Today, we're racing towards 3,000 Ghoster coasters out there, and this is the absolute best community in the coaster world. A big thank you goes out to all of our channel members and Coaster Ghost and producers of the channel for always supporting and helping bring all of this content to you guys, the viewers. As always,
thank you for being a part of our spooky community.
And for Coaster Ghostin' with Ghoster Coasters. Have a Six Flags day, everybody.
At America's Rock'n' Roller Coast, RMC Gemini.